Welcome to the Dr. Dare Show. My name is Dr. Frederick Dare, and I am a therapist here in Atlanta, Georgia, and welcome to my channel. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, and share it, and click the little bell at the bottom of the screen so that you will get updates of when I upload new content. Hope everybody is doing okay. It's been weeks that we've been social distancing and staying home to benefit others, and hopefully everybody is participating in doing this. Me, myself, I've been in the house since March 9th. Probably a little longer than that, but I've been in the house. And so, one thing that's changed since this whole coronavirus has started is a lot of people are working from home, and they may find it difficult. I've been working from home since 2015, and so I wanted to provide some tips on how to kind of just stay focused and how to establish like your home office. So the title is How to Stay Focused While Working at Home. And so the number one thing is, first of all, find a space that you are going to be working in for your office space while you're at home. Make sure there's a little lighting coming through the windows, or you have open space to kind of feel free, be free to work. Make sure it's a designated space that's the only spot you're going to do work in, because that's very important. And number two is, when you're working at home, stay in that space while you're working. Like, don't keep getting up and going to the bedroom, or don't keep getting up and going to the living room to sit and watch TV. Don't stay in that designated space when you are supposed to be at work, because that will help you realize and train yourself and your body that this is where I actually have to do my work, and this is that designated space, so that all spaces in your house don't become your workspace, and then it helps you stay focused if you go into that space. And another thing is to once you're in your space and you're comfortable, make a list of your tasks that you have to do per day. I usually make my list in the morning of what things I need to get done throughout this day. And it just helps me organize my day. And another thing, once you're in that space, I don't want to keep jumping around, but once you are in that space, also make a schedule while you're making this list. Make a schedule of your breaks. So for instance, if you get 2 15-minute breaks at your job and then 30 minutes for lunch, remain on that schedule. Or if you get an hour for lunch and then the rest of the day you're at your desk, maintain that schedule, but don't get off that schedule. So first things first is make a designated space for work. Make sure there's a lighting, you're comfortable there, you have a comfortable seat, you have a comfortable desk or working area that you can work in. Number two, make a list for yourself of your tasks, your daily work tasks, and that you have to get accomplished that day. That will help you stay focused. Three, make sure you have a schedule, a work schedule, like break schedule and lunch schedule and conference calls and all of those things. Make sure all of that is included in your list. And like I stated earlier, number four, don't keep walking around your house when you're supposed to be at work, because what happens is your whole environment becomes that workspace, and you can't really stay focused if you don't have that designated space. Like for me, luckily my condo is built with this built-in office, so when I go in that office at 8 in the morning, I'm in there, and then I'll come and go to the kitchen and get lunch, or go first thing in the morning and get coffee or breakfast, and then I go back to my office. I work for hours, do conference calls, do the work that I have on my list, and then once I leave that office space for lunch, I go eat lunch at my dining room table or something like that, and then I come back to my workspace. Unless I'm working through lunch, then I'll bring the lunch in the office space. And then, let's see, we talked about kind of like making that list of conference calls and schedules and all of that stuff, but keep that there. And again, take breaks. I kind of went over all this stuff. For me to stay focused, I have to have either a radio on or a TV on This is what I do when I'm working. My TV, I can't see it, but I'll put on either the news or I'll put on like an old television show that I've seen already. So all I'm actually doing is kind of just, I'm not actively listening really. It's just the background. I need noise because I'm at home by myself, isolated, and I just need some kind of distraction. It doesn't distract me from my work, but it just gives me the background noise. But if you're not a background noise person, then you just keep it quiet. But first of all, you do have to establish that space, that designated space for your workspace. Stay there when you're supposed to be working. It's going to be hard probably when you first initially start, but you will get used to it. And then once your day is over, turn the light off, turn the computer off, and get out of that office, and don't return to that office until it's time to go to work the next day. What that does is just separate that office space from your home, because we don't know how long we're going to be social distancing and being in the house. So you want to kind of keep those boundaries separated. This is your work area. This is my living area, and you want to keep them separate. Those are some of the things that I do to keep myself focused at work. Like if you have a family, you have to kind of tell them probably, you know, I'm going to work, this is the designated area, you can't come in here during work hours. And it's off limits because this is your new normal right now. Hopefully it won't last much longer, but it is. I actually like working from home. People always ask me, how do you stay on task? This is how. I view my office as my office. I stay in there when I'm supposed to be working. I get involved in my work. It keeps me focused. Sometimes I'll sit down at 8 o'clock and get up at 2 o'clock because I've worked. I'm into whatever I'm doing, that I look up and it's 2 o'clock. Just like you would if you were in a brick and mortar office space. You work and you do your work, and that's how you have to think of it. This is your paycheck. You have to be productive, and I have goals inside that says, we got to get this done, we got to get this done, we got to get this done. And so I'm in there getting those things done. And I give myself breaks like you would in your normal office, but you just have to stay focused. And leave comments under this video on my page to tell me what you're struggling with, and I can kind of help you with that. Like I said, I've been doing this since 2015. I haven't had any issues. I haven't been fired. I haven't been called on the phone by my manager or supervisor to say, what are you doing? You're not getting your work done. And you know, you have to have, that's why I always make lists, because then I check off the work that I need to be doing. And then I'm always, if my manager were to call me, or the director or whoever were to call me and say, show me what you're working on, I always have something that I'm working on to present to them, because I should be working. This is your job. This is what I do. And you can be successfully working at home. Unless you're an extrovert and this is just not for you, it should be easy to adjust to working at home. And again, like I said, if you're struggling with something, please don't hesitate to leave comments, and we can walk through it, we can talk through it, and help you get through it. But yeah, find that designated workspace, make yourself a list of projects and conference calls and anything that you have to do that day, because then if you're checking those things off, that's going to keep you focused and in your designated area. Again, set boundaries for yourself. Don't keep roaming around in the house in the other part of the living space. Stay in your workspace when you're supposed to be at work. Because once you do that, it's kind of hard to kind of make your brain say, okay, I'm supposed to be at work. Now I'm supposed to be in my living space. And it just all gets mumbled all together. But it can be done. Like I said, I've been doing it for a while. I love it. I love working at home. I like people, but I like my personal space as well. And I guess I thrive. I'm an introvert, I guess. Part introvert, a little extrovert. But I like working at home. I'm more productive. What I do find myself doing, though, and you may not want to do this, is that if I do walk by my office and I see there's an email or something that's popped up, and I will go in there and see if it's an emergency or not. But again, you don't have to do that. But I don't spend, my time. I work for a good company. They believe in work-life balance. And so I believe in work-life balance, which means I shouldn't be letting work take over life, and I shouldn't let life take over work. And that's where you establish those boundaries. And you can do that at home. Again, if you need any more tips, I don't know how long we will be social distancing and staying in the house and working from home. But leave me comments and we can address those. Again, my name is Dr. Frederick Dare. If you please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking, subscribe, and then click the little bell so that you'll get updates of when I upload new content. I have a lot of videos out there already, from writing a dissertation to depression and mental health, and we usually cover hot topics and mental health issues. And Corona is unfortunately one of the hot topics that I've been covering, trying not to dwell on it too much, because in my last video I called out not watching so much news and just drowning yourself in coronavirus information. Get your 20 minutes, 30 minutes in the morning, get what you need to be informed, and then let it go. And then get back to work. So for me, work is a consistent thing, and I love it, especially right now. I go in there and it's my I guess, coping mechanism for getting through this madness, especially during the week. Some of you get to go out, and I pray for everybody that has to go out. Keep safe, wash your hands, keep your distance. They say 6 feet, I say 27. Keep your distance, wear a mask if you have a proper mask, and can't have these conversations with people. Tell people I'll call you when I get home. But again, struggling with work stuff, follow my video, leave me a comment if you're struggling, let me know what you're struggling with, and we can work through it. Again, I'm Dr. Dare, and have a blessed week.